Sad to see it here, but this, my friends, is a Saab 900. How's it going, my friends? My name is Gary, and this is my channel, Weakest to Weeks. If you're a first-time viewer, I appreciate you clicking on the video and definitely consider subscribing. Now, the past couple months, I haven't really posted much, especially not any Saab things. Just life has been a little bit crazy, and actually today, I'm happy to say that I have a little bit of free time. Don't really intend to really work on anything technically, but with this free time, I'm using it wisely. I heard my local pick and pull here in Columbus, Ohio has some Volvos, has some Saabs, so I'm excited to just kind of walk around the yard and just kind of see what I can find. So I don't really intend to pull anything off to resell. My vehicles don't need anything. I did recently buy that 2015 and a half Xc60 R design, but here I am still dailying my beloved 9.3 Aero. But I am looking forward to just kind of taking a step back, doing something that I really enjoy doing, which is just simply walking the junkyard, just kind of seeing what's out there. You never know, maybe something will strike my fancy and I'll take it home. But I figured it'd be worthwhile to take my friends along for the journey, so let's go ahead and get started. Talk about stanced, okay. Supposed to be a Saab around this general area somewhere. Did see one Volvo over there. I'm gonna keep on moving on. Just got here. Really hunting for the Saabs first though. Ended up initially walking right past this thing. I had to backtrack to see where this thing was located. So there's one that should have been over here. I think it was like a 06, but with them being directly on the ground, and put some new inventory out. This one I think is an 04. Oh man. This thing has seen better days. Jeez, they're really cramming these things in here now. Wow. Okay, nice. All right. Still has the plastic push rivets. Definitely gonna take those. This being an 04, it just has the regular red ones, not the clear ice blocks. Wow! Look at that. Pretty wild. Some Kia parts in here, less, miscellaneous, speaker grill's gone. That definitely looks like mold. Ooh, the door looks totally gone. Just a regular 2-liter 4-cylinder, automatic. So we found the door. You know, some people convert their cars to Lambo doors, suicide doors. Don't know what you'd call this one, but nice easy access. Oh, it has the ISM in it. Okay. Manual mirror. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna be careful with this one. Definitely mold. What on earth is this? Some audio thing of some sort. It does have the cup holder. Whether it's fully functioning or not, it's another story. A little bit of standing water. So obviously this thing took a heck of an impact, but because none of the airbags went off, I would venture to guess that a tree or something fell on this car while it was stationary. It wasn't moving, nobody was in it. And the dead giveaway to that is no airbags went off. none of the curtain ones. Steering wheel, dash, none of them went off. But it definitely sustained quite a hit. Looks like it's got the mirrors that dip down, probably hard to see. The mirror switch still has the CIM. Being an older one, I don't know how desirable it is. Quick glance, I don't see any keys, so it probably doesn't matter. But we'll take a couple things from this. This door is definitely interesting. They must pop this thing off real quick to get to this fender. But here is the front bumper. Has the fog lights. Fog light harness is cut. Well, nothing too worthy of taking, but there's a couple things at least. Got these little plastic push pins out. A little difficult with this Saab, like touching butts with this Honda Odyssey here. It's a little hard to get in here. Oh, it's so musty. A lot of standing water. It stinks in here. Coolant Reservoir Cap. That's kind of neat. Actually, who's to say that it actually goes to this thing? Oh, nice. 2 brand new packs. 7506 bulbs. Don't remember if these are what's actually for this one, but definitely good to have in the garage, so I'll take those. Yeah, I'm gonna say nothing else worthwhile in this trunk. This is pretty wild. I kind of tugged on this little module thing that was inside the center of the center console. Kind of pulled out more of this. And to me, it looked like almost like something for an adapter harness for an aftermarket radio. Definitely still has the factory radio in it. And it said something about just like an aux universal radio input. That's pretty wild. All of this adapter harness and everything just to get an aux input. As I'm removing all the Torx bolts to get to the ISM to remove this properly without demolishing all of this. And there's something else that's kind of interesting, this little rocker switch underneath the e-brake. So I'll have to remove this little trim panel here to get access to the Torx screws underneath there, but I imagine that probably has something to do with this big old aux harness. I see you. All right, that's a win. So what is hilarious, as I'm sitting here, nice open vented space here, which is much needed because of all the mold in this vehicle, but look at this. Okay. Front brakes appear to be totally stock. Rear brakes, drilled and slotted. So at some point somebody sort of ish cared for this car, but again, what's funny, rear brakes drilled and slotted, front not. Car directly to the side of it, I think this is a Honda Accord. The rear brake rotors are solid, but then the front are drilled and slotted. How silly is that? Weird. Sad, sad key. Oh no. So I'd say technically you could rebuild this. New case. But because the electric board is here, might be able to use it in conjunction with this CIM. I'm not going to, but somebody else, well, let's be real, nobody else is going to be doing this if it's not me. But I will set it right there along with the remaining pieces in case anybody watching this wants to come here to Columbus, Ohio to pick this old CIM and nasty key. So that is going to do it for the haul on this car. Got the ISM, very crusty and gross, rubber kind of peeling. Whether it works or not, I don't know. Cup holder, not in terrible shape. One broken tab here, but otherwise seems in decent condition. And of course, those little plastic push rivets from the trunk. This is kind of interesting. That's for that little rocker switch for whatever audio system stuff they had going on here. But this one, very disgusting. This one smelled horrible. All right, going back out there in the sea of mangled metal. So whenever you're in the junkyard, you have to have a real keen eye for what to look for, because frequently the vehicles are missing body panels that identify it. But as we're going through here, I think I spot something off in the distance that's something kind of special. So if you look at that red mangled hood, let's get a little bit closer here. I think that's a nice, well, I shouldn't say nice, but because it's sad to see it here, but this, my friends, is a Saab 900 convertible. Man, the engineering on these things are wild. Ugh, I hate to see this thing. Very partial to red. Not too much of a convertible person, but one day I would love a red 900. Definitely looks like it's had repaint here before. Not that it matters now, but kind of one thing to look for, I guess, if you're looking at buying a used vehicle. $1991 Saab 900. That is kind of bizarre. Odd spot to rust. Maybe that's common on these. Very odd. Oh yeah, you can definitely tell this thing's been resprayed before. There's the original red. There's whatever, almost looks like a latex paint they brushed on here. This is terrible. So maybe this didn't have the best of life before it ended up in here. But who's to say? Some convertible parts. This thing has had multiple blowouts. It was a 5-speed, so that's kind of cool. Possibly part of the shifter assembly or CV axle, not too sure. But I would say this thing is pretty well picked over. Pretty wild suspension, coil, ball joint setup here going to the knuckle. Gotta make sure I don't get tetanus, but it looks like some components for the hood mechanism. Such a massive hood. Jeez, look at the valve cover. That's metal too. Appears to be cast, but still. Man, that thing took a hit. Even if the engine survived, whatever happened here, who knows how long this thing's been sitting out here getting moisture inside that engine, rusting it from the inside out. The clutch, pretty cool. Again, going back to that wild Saab engineering of the day. Serpentine belt system all the way by the firewall. It's kind of neat how they have the actual inner structure here, outer structure here. In between they have some stuff, so with the hood open it's a little more serviceable. Because a lot of times, like, these wiring harnesses are tucked up under a wheel liner that are hidden, so at least this way it's a little more serviceable. I wonder what color red this would have been from the factory. Well, here's the trunk. well, I guess that's not necessarily considered the trunk. It's whatever this rear cowling panel is. Somebody might have taken the trunk. Doesn't appear to have any rear end damage outside of kind of a little bit here, but the trunk lid might have been fine. Oh, that's cool. Fuel pump, nice, easy to access. I've never worked on one of these, but I'm really hoping if I have the space one day, pick one of these up. So there's where we were with the 900. Not far from it is a Volvo S80, I believe, T6, inline 6 3.0. Don't know a whole heck of a lot about these, but maybe I should learn, because I imagine some of this transfers over to my 2015 and a half Xc60 T6. Wow. It's pretty spacious in here with all the interior removed. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Little camera there. Must be for blind spot monitoring or something to that effect. Bunch of random trim and foam pieces in here. There you go, T6 all-wheel drive, S80. Somebody pried off the Volvo. Man, this thing was probably a sweet vehicle back in the day. Whoa! Look at this. I don't even know what this is. Somebody must have needed that quarter. Guess I didn't really need to go far from the 900, because now right over here, got an S40. A little bit older. Still cool nonetheless. Whoa, okay. Just have to look at this real quick. Wow. All right, back to the Volvo. Oh. Like that kind of air scoop. $2005, so the quarter panel says. There's the waterfall, as they call it, of this generation. Still pretty darn cool. Don't know a lot about these ones, but I imagine these, like some of the other Volvos, were sort of ahead of their time. I like the black interior on this. S60. Oh, that did not sound good. Oh, I thought this was the actual mirror glass. Nope, just a rubber backer that the actual glass would have been attached to. Hey, another Volvo. Alright, gotta focus. Oh, I see an XC90 amongst some BMWs. And what is this, a Kia? No, that's a Mercedes. It's a Mercedes. All right. What do we have here? Looks like a 5-cylinder. Cool little strut tower bar. Man, if you need any parts off this engine, it's pretty convenient. Somebody pulled all this front stuff off. Quarter panel says 2006 Volvo Xc60. Typical headliner droop. Somebody wanted the instrument cluster, a bunch of radio and center console components. I always like the design where the top hatch portion opens up and then it's got like a little back tailgate. Some people find that pretty goofy, but I always like that. Headlights. Oh, for the spare tire to lower that. Tow hook. Practically looks unused. Whether it's for this particular vehicle or not, I don't know. Appears to be an intercooler in nice shape. Overall, this thing's pretty straight. So this might have just had catastrophic failure. Because the hood is unbuckled. Front bumper obviously is missing, but none of the crash support stuff is mangled. This inner structure appears to be, from what I can tell at a quick glance, all in order. Usually in an accident, flimsy metal like this gets tweaked real easily. That looks fine. So if I had to guess, this one might be in here for catastrophic failure. That might just about wrap it up for today's Junkyard adventure. I'm officially back home, and here's the haul that we took home today. Quite honestly, I didn't really expect to bring home anything, but here we are. So looking at my little stamp that they give you kind of whenever you want to leave and then come back in, well, it's pretty much melted away. It's rather hot, so we're doing this haul video inside the house in the air conditioning. But moving along, we have the ISM ignition switch module. 2004 and up, 9.3 new gens here. Not the 1 year only 2003 light up version, but this is still a pretty well sought after item. I cleaned the exterior a bit, didn't fully take it apart to clean the internals of it, so it's still a little bit dirty, and unfortunately it's showing some wear here. The rubber is kind of chewed up a bit, but this is a good spare to have. Cup holder, another good item, another good find. There is one of the 3 tabs here that is broke off, but it'll still securely sit in there. And then this little piece right there, there's a little chunk taken out, but that doesn't really affect the operation. Look at that. Good find right there. Might need cleaned up. This one's pretty cool. Looking at that Saab 900, this was on the dash. It was partially falling off. I could tell one of the tabs was broke off, and then by the time I pulled it off, the other tab fell off. Really no intended use other than slapping some double-sided tape on this and sticking it on my toolbox. Thought that was a pretty cool find, and that'll always remind me of that 900 that I found in the junkyard. Have, I believe, 9 of these plastic push pins or push rivets, whatever you want to call them. Very handy to have as spares. And then come to find out, Volvo on some of the models uses those, so that's handy. 2 different packs, brand new Slovenia 7506 bulbs. These should work for the taillights of the new Gen 9.3s. Pretty cool. Nice little spares to have. And one thing that I totally didn't intend to actually even get, because I was done filming at that point, I was just kind of scouring the yard to see what else I could find. Came across a 2008 Cadillac SRX, and well, here we are. I pulled the nav unit from it. Now this is a little bit different than the GM sat navs of the area that went into, or I should say the era of what went into the new Gen 9.3s, the 07 and ups, but from a component standpoint. Some of the internal stuff should be able to switch over, but in some, you simply can't just plug this in and expect it to work. Now, these GM ones, once you unplug them, they get theft locked, so you need to pretty much have the dealer unlock it or pay for a service on, say, eBay to unlock it. But it may be of use to somebody as far as just parts, because unfortunately I didn't expect to pull anything electronic, so I didn't bring a power source to even test this in the vehicle. I just kind of pulled it as is. So I'll either be selling it as is on eBay, somebody may want it for parts, or I may just keep it as a spare and Frankenstein another Saab sat-nav unit in the future again. I don't know. More to come on that. As far as parts and pricing goes, this is what we have. So we have the radio right here, $18.89 US dollars. Let's see here, the cup holder, it's kind of offset, so it's kind of weird here. The cup holder right there, $5.84, and the ISM right here, $11.69. So total after tax environmental fees, $43.06 US for all of this. So comment down below your best junkyard find that you've found to date. If you're interested in other previous junkyard adventures that I've done, I will link the playlist in the description so you can check my other junkyard hauls out and consider subscribing. That being said, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch your friends next time.